So with that, I'm going to pause and hand it over to the Vice Chair of our Education, Energy, and the Environment Committee, Senator Cheryl Kagan.
Thank you, Mr. President. It's an honor to be here. So we call my committee Education, Energy, and the Environment. I always add "and elections." It wasn't that long ago when elections were an afterthought and it was only for policy wonks and academicians to think about. In recent years, with conspiracy theorists and others, that has changed, and you all are now focused on that. I want to thank the governor for including an election bill in his priority package, and then I sponsored 11 bills on elections, and many of my colleagues have others. There were 3 hearings this past Tuesday on my bills. I have 3 more coming up this Tuesday. I'm going to run through several super fast, and then after Senator McCray or whatever the protocol is, I'm happy to take questions. So special elections have to be back in the news with the impending resignation of Senator Ariana Kelly, which is a loss. We're going to have another appointment to the Senate, and then if there is a delegate who is chosen, there may be a domino effect, and there may be yet another appointment to the House of Delegates. Senate Bill 29 did move out of the Senate. We had the hearing this past Tuesday, and we'll see what the House decides to do. But roughly 25% of our 188 members have been selected rather than elected. I think it's about democracy, and we should have more accountability. We have problems getting judges to work on elections. We have a bill that has passed, it'll be heard this coming Tuesday, to allow those who are unemployed to work, get a modest stipend, and not have that count against their unemployment income. That could help us. In this presidential election year, we've got to modify our process so that we don't have any risk of having fake electors. So making sure that our electoral college process goes smoothly. That bill passed unanimously, and hopefully will move forward as it already has in both chambers. Recounts. Our laws are outdated, and we need to literally update them to reflect technology. I also am going to do a super quick thing just to make sure all of you are aware of the impending challenges with internet-delivered ballots. What I say is that people shop online, they bank online, they may even date online, and so people think it's obvious that they should vote online, but it's not as easy as that for either the voter or the boards of elections. When they print out their ballot, it looks like that. That assumes that they have a printer and a toner cartridge and all that. After they complete it, they have to put it in an envelope and either pay for the stamp themselves or drop it off at a drop-off box. But that's only the beginning of the challenge, because then it has to be manually duplicated by bipartisan teams to make sure that this is what goes through the scanner. Our laws don't reflect that. These 2 pieces of paper must be kept together in case of a recount, and we have had very close elections in recent years. So that's pretty important. Simplified ballot language. There were about 400,000 voters who voted for governor and then dropped off and did not vote in the ballot measures. And I just want to give you a brief thing, and I'm going to read this very fast. But the last election in 2022, question number 2 said, quote, adds to the eligibility requirements to serve as a senator or delegate to the Maryland General Assembly by requiring a person to have maintained a primary place of abode in the district that the person has been chosen to represent. Under current law, a person must have resided in the district to which the person has been elected for at least 6 months immediately preceding the date of the person's election, or if the district has been established for less than 6 months prior to the date of election, as long as the district has been established. The new law requires, beginning January 1, 2024, a person must have both resided in and maintained a primary place of abode in the district for the same periods as under current law. Question 4 said, do you favor the legalization of the use of cannabis by an individual who's at least 21 years of age on or after July 1, 2023 in the state of Maryland? Not everyone in Maryland has a law degree or a PhD to understand question number 2. We've got to simplify our ballot measures so that voters feel empowered and educated when they cast a ballot. Briefly, also, exploratory committees, draft committees are completely unregulated. If there were a Bill Ferguson for Governor exploratory committee, any of you or I could give him $1 million. He could buy a new house. All of that is legal. And none of it would be transparent or disclosed anywhere. That's crazy.
It would be a demotion.
Yeah. So we need to increase transparency and make sure that people are only spending money raised on election activities. Scam packs, we've gotten coaching from, warnings from the FBI and the Federal Election Commission that these are on the rise. Again, more transparency and allow the State Board of Elections to issue subpoenas. And then I believe that unaffiliated voters should be able to cast a ballot in primaries, but we weren't quite ready to move that. There are other issues pending, but that's the quick overview of some of the issues. None of these bills are partisan, and they all will advance our democracy. And to be clear, Maryland has excellent elections. They are fair, they are accurate, they are transparent, and all of these will help enhance and gain confidence in case people have questions. But we do a great job here in Maryland, and with all props to our local election staff and volunteers, judges, and others, and to Jared Demarinis, our new state administrator. Thank you. Happy to take questions.